Welcome to the first official podcast from NBA Film Sessions. I'm going to try a new format here. Some of you guys have requested it, where I kind of go through the action throughout the NBA week, show some clips that I've gone through. Most of you guys know me for my short clips, about a minute to 2 minutes long, where I explain what's going on, help you learn the game. I'm still going to do that, but I'm also going to talk about the league. Luka Doncic is what most of my content is geared towards right now, because I was a huge Dallas Mavericks fan. I'm not a Lakers fan, okay, but I am a Luka Doncic fan, and I am enjoying watching him play for a competent coach, watching him get healthy. It's very exciting. But what's impressed me the most as of late is the Lakers' defense. Their connectivity on the defensive end has been incredible. Luka has seamlessly transitioned into that. I'm going to show you a clip here that I've kind of been waiting to show, and it's mostly Dorian Finney-Smith, Luka Doncic, and all these guys, and how they're just connected. Everything's connected defensively. It's one of my favorite clips from the game against the Clippers, and we can go from there. All right, so the real reason the Lakers have been playing so well is their defense. Their offense has been okay. Luka Doncic has been struggling offensively, but pay attention to their connectivity on defense. One of the big concerns is that Jackson Hayes is basically their only center. But they defended Jokic really well by double teaming. And when you have guys that can move as well as Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, even Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, their switchability on defense, their ability to recover, it's just spectacular. So this is a Harden Kawhi Leonard screen. They just switch it. Now watch, Zubac gets positioned down low. Jackson Hayes does a pretty good job, but watch Luka help from the backside. So this is their strategy. If any post player gets good position down low, they're going to double team. But what I really want you to watch is Dorian Finney-Smith, number 17 in the middle of the paint here. Him and Reeves are basically playing a zone on the backside. There's 3 players on the backside, and there's only 2 of them. But watch how perfectly they play it, specifically DFS. So double team comes, Reeves and Dorian Finney-Smith, 2 people guarding 3 guys. Spectacular. They've been doing this since Luka got there. Reeves does a great job on the ball, and watch Dorian Finney-Smith immediately recover as Luka immediately recovers out of the double team to go guard the corner. But Dorian Finney-Smith, this is just amazing, the ground that he covers here. Ends up getting the tip, the deflection, knocks it out of bounds. This is why they've done so well. This is why they're so fun to watch. Defensively, they are connected. It's a high IQ team. J.J. Redick, Dorian Finney-Smith, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Austin Reeves. All of these guys are playing with an extremely high IQ, especially on the defensive end, and that's why they're winning games, and that's why I think they're... So you guys get the point. Defensive connectivity, it's been incredible. They're a high IQ team, high IQ players, and that's really why it's worked so well for them on the defensive end, even without Anthony Davis. There's a couple other clips here. There's one where, the pick and roll defense by Dorian Finney-Smith and Jackson Hayes. I don't think Jackson Hayes is getting enough credit for what he's doing defensively. I think he's been outstanding on both ends of the floor, really, but especially on defense, the way that they're able to switch everything with him at the 5. It can't be understated. It's very hard to have a center that's switchable. Luka, when he was in Dallas, had Derek Lively, who was really good at that, especially for a young player. But I think Jackson Hayes has far exceeded expectations. He's exceeded what I've expected out of him. And the Lakers can still go small down the stretch. We've seen that with LeBron or Luka at the 5. But in this clip, this is one of the smoothest defensive plays that I've seen in a while. People don't focus on the defensive end of the floor enough, but they should. So I'm just going to kind of walk through in this video how they seamlessly switched back without giving up anything on the defensive end. So I'm going to harp on the Lakers defense a lot in this game. Watch Dorian Finney-Smith and Jackson Hayes. Harden gets the switch. He runs a high pick and roll with Zubac. They get the switch, and watch how smoothly Dorian Finney-Smith and Jackson Hayes just switch right back. This is all chemistry. This is all intelligence. This is so hard to do. There's so many teams that fail at doing this. So here's the high pick and roll. And then, watch this. They literally just switch off right here. Dorian Finney-Smith and Jackson Hayes just seamlessly switch right back. Look at that. Just passes him right off, and now you have Dorian Finney-Smith back on James Harden. There's 3 seconds on the shot clock now. Dorian Finney-Smith had a tip away initially. Shot clock never reset. And then, this is just incredible. The Lakers' chemistry defensively is out of this world right now, and I think it's only going to get better. They just have too many smart players on the floor. So you guys kind of get the point. I go back into talking about how intelligent they are on the defensive end of the floor. It's really been a joy to watch them. It's been a joy to watch J.J. Redick coach them. I've been very impressed. Start to finish with what he's done. And Luka's not even playing well offensively yet, so the sky's the limit for the Lakers. One other thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that Austin Reeves is initiating the offense. There's a lot of people that I've seen complain about this. They're saying Luka needs the ball in his hands more. Someone said that Luka's usage rate is like close to 40% or something crazy. What people don't realize is usage rate has nothing to do with bringing the ball up. It's actually just how the play ends. So Austin Reeves initiating the offense, and I go through that in this clip of why that's important, but he's going to have the third best defender on him because of LeBron James and Luka Doncic. And so he doesn't have to face any pressure coming up the court. And J.J. Redick's done a great job with horn sets, which is where like LeBron and Luka are both in the high post, and they initiate the offense from that. They're also good at initiating it with an off-ball screen and Luka getting it off the wing. But I kind of go through all that here and show you guys why that's important. And I'm going to go ahead and play the clip, shut up, and let you guys watch it. All right, so Chris Dunn, I give him a shout out every time Luka Doncic plays against him. He's one of the best defenders in the league. I don't think he gets any credit for that. I'm glad that he's starting for the Clippers and he's finally getting some recognition. But this is why you have Austin Reeves on your team, and this is why you utilize Austin Reeves as the primary ball handler instead of Luka Doncic, because there's guys like Chris Dunn whose only job is to make Luka's life difficult when he brings the ball up, and you can see it here, and it results in a horrible possession. So he presses him right outside of half court. And Chris Dunn's a problem. He's always been a problem for Luka Doncic. I would venture to say he's one of the top 3 defenders in the entire league against Luka Doncic. Luka's gone off against the Jazz in the past when he played against him, but it wasn't because of Chris Dunn. So here he is hounding Luka, and this is why you have Austin Reeves initiate the offense, because Austin Reeves, especially when LeBron James and Luka Doncic are on the floor, is going to get the third best defender on. So you can utilize him to bring the ball up without pressure and let Luka and LeBron James get a breather, especially when they're exerting more effort on the defensive end. So Luka Doncic gets hounded by Chris Dunn here. They're slow getting into the offense, and it results in a pretty poor possession. So you can kind of see there the way that the offense just initiates better with Austin Reeves because of the pressure that Luka and LeBron are going to see when they bring the ball up. Not to mention Luka not in game shape yet, and LeBron James over 40 years old. So there's only so much you're going to be able to extract out of those guys. You might as well not utilize it to just bring the ball up past half court. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of effort, and it's not something you need to do when you have Austin Reeves on your team, who's a great ball handler and has been playing the point guard position really, really well. Not a whole lot left from this game outside of the fourth quarter. I wanted to show a few clips. The Lakers not having a backup center, really, and not having a lot of size has become a topic of conversation. But in my opinion, Luka Doncic and LeBron James can expose other teams' centers to the point where it's not going to matter in a playoff series. Outside of Jokic, nobody really strikes fear into me. And you're going to see what Luka did to Zubac down the stretch. The Clippers didn't adjust quickly enough, and Luka hit back-to-back threes against Zubac, getting him in mismatches. And it's not talked about enough, the impact that Luka Doncic will have in a playoff series, and the fact that he can just expose these centers and basically play them off the floor or change the way that teams play him. You'll see a lot of blitzing. But if you blitz against Luka Doncic and you have LeBron James and Austin Reeves on the floor, good luck, because there's only so much that you can do. So everybody likes to talk about how the Lakers lack size and how they don't really have a great center. They have Jackson Hayes, and that's pretty much it. But what people don't realize that in playoff series, guys like Luka Doncic and LeBron James can play these centers off of the floor. So Zubac, very good center in this league, having a career year. But if he gets put in isolation like this, if he hurts their defense, he's not going to be able to stay on the floor. And so here's Luka with a high screen and roll with Dorian Finney-Smith. Step back against Zubac, 3. Yeah, so we don't need to play the whole clip. You pretty much you get the idea of what happened there. And I'm going to go ahead and show the second clip as well, where he basically did the same exact thing, put the team on his back offensively down the stretch, and just embarrassed Zubac and the Clippers. And in a playoff series, that's what you're going to see. So this clip is twofold. One, great defense by the Lakers. Just tremendous job by Gabe Vincent against Kawhi Leonard. He fights around the screen here. Very undersized on the block. Kawhi has good position. The Lakers don't overhelp. They stay on their guys. You don't want to give up an open three to DJJ. You don't want to give up a dunk to Zubats. And really a great job by Gabe Vincent, who I give a lot of shit because he's undersized and I feel like he can't shoot. When he can't shoot, he's not very valuable. And so I've seen times where he gets played off the floor. But great job here. And then we're going to come down to the other end of the floor, and this is why the Lakers won this game down the stretch. It was because of Luka Doncic. I posted a clip earlier where he took on Zubats and hit a three, and here he is again. So when the Lakers play against teams with big men, Luka's going to play them off the floor. And he does it again here. They switch here, which is a weird play, and Luka hits the step back. So, yeah, I mean, basically, he did this with 5 fouls. Couple daggers at the 6-minute mark. It didn't end the game necessarily, but it really discouraged the Clippers, and the Lakers went on to win the game. That's probably enough Lakers talk, Luka talk. The Lakers look great. I'll be sure to. I'm following them very closely, so you guys will get a lot of content from me in that regard. Last night, the Bucks beat the Mavericks. I have a lot of Mavericks followers, so I wanted to touch on that. Kyrie Irving, again, I think had 35 points. He's been playing out of his mind. I did have some clips on Klay Thompson basically doing nothing defensively. You had Jason Kidd call him out publicly, essentially embarrass him and say, we needed stops down the stretch, and that's why I didn't play Klay Thompson. So that should be a blow to his ego. All year, really, he's only played offense and not defense. The Mavs are a train wreck. PJ Washington out again with the same ankle injury. It came back. The Mavericks training staff, since firing Casey Smith, is just an absolute abomination. They're one of the worst run organizations in the league right now, in my opinion. And that's why I can no longer fully support them and be a fan because of their front office, their coaching, their training staff. I don't like what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know why they traded Luka. But until Anthony Davis and Derek Lively get back, they're just going to have to hope that they can tread water and get in a play-in spot, and anything can happen in the playoffs. I did follow the Celtics and Cavs game. That's another game that I wanted to share some content from. I'm known as a Jason Tatum hater, but I don't think that's what I do. I think I objectively watch the film, and Jaylen Brown is the best player on that team. It's not particularly close for me. Jaylen Brown took on the assignment of Donovan Mitchell all night, while Jason Tatum stood under the rim and guarded Jarrett Allen to collect some easy rebounds, uncontested. I think he had 6 in the first quarter with nobody anywhere near him. The stats were inflated. He took 37 shots, did score 46 points, but the Cavaliers essentially said, we're not going to let anybody else beat us. We're going to make Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown beat us in isolation. Tatum took 37 shots. They ended up losing the game after they were up 22-3. There's the iconic moment of him basically saying, get the fuck out of here, when they were up 22-3, and they went on to lose the game. So massive comeback by Cleveland, massive win by Cleveland, solidifying themselves as a contender this year. People have their doubts, but the way that they've been coached, the way that they've answered, the way that they've grown, it's been incredible. Garland's playing out of his mind. I've seen some clips of his handles and people comparing him to Kyrie Irving. Evan Mobley continues to grow. And obviously you have Donovan Mitchell on your team. And then you have, role players like Strus and a couple other guys that are really just playing out of their mind. So the Cavaliers with a big statement win after being down 22-3. I think most of that was because they just allowed Tatum to shoot, and they didn't help off of him. I have some clips here that I'm going to show you guys, but they essentially didn't help at all. Even if Jarrett Allen got on him, they wouldn't help off the corner. They wouldn't help off the backside. They wouldn't blitz. They wouldn't double. They basically just said, we're going to let Tatum shoot 40 times, and if you guys beat us because of that, then we'll live with it. And they stuck with it even when they were down 22-3. So shout out to Kenny Atkinson for sticking to that. I was really impressed with the way that they came back and won that game. And now I'll show you guys a clip. All right, so there's a pretty easy explanation as to why Tatum was able to pop off for almost 50 points. The Cavaliers basically decided that they weren't going to let the Celtics space the floor. They were going to switch everything and just play man up. So Jarrett Allen got switched onto Tatum probably 4 times in the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game. Here it is again. They're just switching everything, and they're letting Tatum isolate. There's no help. They're not sending any help. They're staying on shooters. In my opinion, this is how you play the Celtics. And you saw that even though Tatum popped off, they still won the game. So stats mean nothing if you lose. Here he draws a foul on Allen, but you can see even on the corner up there, they're not going to help off Derek White. They're not going to do anything to really slow down Tatum. They're just going to let him go 1v1. And they're going to bet on their offense to outplay Tatum, basically, offensively. So great strategy by the Cavaliers that started out slow. I think it was like 22-3 or something to start. Now it's 25-9. But they took away all the shooters, and they basically said, if you want to beat us with Tatum isolations against Jared Allen, then go ahead. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I've got for this week. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I do have limited amount of time, so I'll basically take whatever clips I can get throughout the week, whatever I end up working on, and then I'll cover it in like a synopsis in a podcast form like this. Let me know what you think. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I appreciate y'all's support. I'm going to try to keep this around 15 minutes, and thanks for joining.